दर्द हम जानते हैं, किराने पे तो नहीं बट स्टॉक्स में जरूर मिल सकता है। बाय नाउ एंड
Yeah, start.
A very good morning to one and all present here. Dr. Shilpa Peswani and I, Dr. Mangesh Kasbekar, welcome you all to the inauguration ceremony of the India Finance Conference 2023, a flagship event of Indian Finance Association, organized by IIM Calcutta, IIM Bangalore, IIM Ahmedabad, and this year hosted by NL Dalmia Institute of Management Studies and Research.
We at NL Dalmia, as a part of our tradition, commence an auspicious event by invoking the blessings of Goddess Saraswati. We shall begin this event by reciting the Saraswati Vandana. I request the audience to rise as we light the lamp and symbolically mark the beginning of this conference. I request the dignitaries to come ahead and light the lamp. I request the dignitaries and the audience to be seated.
We now take the honor of introducing the dignitaries on the dais. It's my privilege to introduce to the August gathering the Honorable Secretary of NL Dalmia Educational Society, Mr. Shailesh Dalmia. Mr. Dalmia is a BCom graduate from HR College and pursued law from Government Law College. He has been instrumental in taking the society's legacy forward since 1997. The NL Dalmia Educational Society was established in 1982, and under his leadership, the NL Dalmia Educational Society runs 6 schools of excellence, including NL Dalmia High School, NL Dalmia Institute of Management Studies and Research, NL Dalmia Center of Research, NL Dalmia Global MBA, NL Dalmia College of Arts, Commerce and Science, and NL Dalmia Center of Distance Learning and Online Management Studies. Guided by Mr. Dalmia's vision, the institute has achieved remarkable recognitions and milestones, including ISO 9001-2015 certification, E+ grade from NAC in the second cycle. The institute also holds prestigious accreditation from NBA, SAQS, and AIU for PGDM programs. The inception of the Bloomberg Lab in 2015 was solely driven by Mr. Dalmia's pioneering initiative. The lab began with 12 terminals and has since grown to 24, solidifying its status as the largest standalone lab in South Asia. Additionally, his leadership established the institute as the pioneering Bloomberg Experiential Learning Partner Program in India. Recognizing the paramount importance of international collaborations in advancing education, he spearheaded strategic tie-ups with various international universities of repute like Harvard University USA for its Harvard Business School online courses, University of Wisconsin Parkside USA, University of Westminster UK, the University of Winnipeg Canada, and Northern University Bangladesh. These partnerships have unlocked unique avenues for learning and research, propelling the institute into a realm of global networking opportunities and strengthening career prospects. Mr. Dalmia set aside a distinct budget of 5 crores, that is approximately 600,000 US dollars, for the research and development. This strategic allocation has led to a remarkable improvement in the quality of faculty authored publications. Mr. Dalmia has been honored with several prestigious awards and accolades for his remarkable contribution in the education sector. Notably, in 2014, the President of India at the Rashtrapati Bhavan, Delhi, acknowledged his contribution to society and nation building. In 2019, it was under his leadership, the NL Dalmia Educational Society received the Social Welfare and Growth Award at the CSR Journal Excellence Awards from the then Union Cabinet Minister, Mr. Narendra Singh Tomar in Delhi. Furthermore, in 2022, he was also honored for the best school with academic excellence in Maharashtra by the then Governor of Maharashtra, Shri Bhagat Singh Koshyari. An edupreneur and visionary par excellence, he has raised the educational society to a level that has left an indelible imprint on education in the community and business at large. We heartily welcome you, sir.
We now introduce the Vice President of NL Dalmia Educational Society, Mr. Mudit Dalmia. Mr. Mudit Dalmia is an industrial engineer from Northeastern University in Boston, USA. His remarkable academic achievements include earning a spot on the Dean's List and topping the program in the university, showcasing his dedication and exceptional performance during his university years. During his career, Mr. Dalmia worked as SAS, a leading analytics solution company, where he held the roles of data scientist and senior technical consultant. In these capacities, he contributed significantly to various high-profile projects, demonstrating his expertise and problem-solving skills in the field. His extensive experience in the field of data science and technical consulting at SAS equips him with valuable insights and industry know-how, which he channels into development of a cutting-edge curriculum that meets the evolving demands of the business analytics landscape. His commitment, profound expertise, and leadership stand as the Institute's vital pillars. We welcome you, sir.
I take immense pride to introduce Professor Dr. Seema Saini, the CEO of NL Dalmia Educational Society, which runs 3 schools of excellence: NL Dalmia Institute of Management Studies and Research, NL Dalmia High School, and NL Dalmia College of Arts, Commerce and Science. Professor Dr. Saini brings with her extensive experience of 31 years in the field of education. Academically, she is honored with the PhD from Mumbai University and has a master's in economics from Mumbai University and a master's in human resource development from Xavier's University, USA. Furthermore, Dr. Seema Saini is professionally certified in various areas such as project management from Project Management Institute, Pennsylvania, US, excellence in higher education from Indian School of Business, ISB, Hyderabad, certification in strategic leadership from the Indian Institute of Management, IIM, Ahmedabad. Professor Dr. Saini has published several papers in international journals and conference proceedings. She is also an honorary member of the National Advisory Council of the SME Chamber of India. Her educational leadership promotes the success of all students while facilitating development, implementation, and stewardship of a vision for learning. In a pursuit for excellence in education and her commitment, she endeavors to further the operating effectiveness of the Institute and follow the vision and mission of our honorable founder, late Niranjan Lalji Dalmia. We welcome you, ma'am.
We now take the privilege to introduce the Director of NL Dalmia Institute of Management Studies and Research, Dr. M.A. Khan. Dr. Khan is a distinguished and highly qualified professional, bringing a wealth of experience and expertise to the realm of academic administration, having served as the Registrar of the University of Mumbai, Director of Sydenham Institute of Management Education Research and Entrepreneurship, Mumbai, and CEO of HCOI, Ministry of Minority Government of India. Dr. Khan has exhibited remarkable technical prowess and an unwavering commitment to academic excellence. Dr. Khan is a recognized PhD guide of University of Mumbai for Management Studies. His tenure at NL Dalmia Institute of Management Studies and Research, Dr. Khan has achieved remarkable milestone, underscoring his commitment to excellence. The institute, under his leadership, has secured prestigious accreditations such as NAC, NBA, SAQS, and AIU certifications. Additionally, the institute has received sanctions for online distance learning and online courses for 13 programs each, a testament to Dr. Khan's forward-thinking approach into education. We welcome you, sir.
I now take the privilege to introduce Professor Dr. Ajay Pandey, Vice President of Indian Finance Association. Professor Dr. Ajay Pandey is currently the Professor of Finance and Accounting area at the Indian Institute of Management, Ahmedabad, and has over 25 years of experience in teaching, training, and consultancy. His professional interest is majorly related to research, teaching, and training in the corporate finance and capital markets, such as corporate governance, risk management, project finance, volatility, commodity markets, regulation, and asset price dynamics. Outside financial economics and corporate finance, his interests include electricity tariff regulations, sectoral reforms, public procurement, land use, and other public policy issues in the context of infrastructure sectors. He has written and developed cases on issues related to land markets, natural resource allocation, public procurement, risk allocation in PPPs, and regulatory disputes. In the past, he has been associated with institutions such as IIM Lucknow, MDI Gurgaon, and ASEI Hyderabad. We welcome you, sir. May I request Professor Dr. Seema Saini to welcome him on behalf of NL Dalmia Institute of Management Studies and Research. Thank you, ma'am.
We now take the privilege to introduce Professor Dr. Shankarsan Basu, Secretary of Indian Finance Association. Professor Basu's area of interest in terms of research are in financial calculus, option pricing, bond and portfolio valuation, applications of quantitative techniques to finance, insurance, reinsurance, risk management, biostatistics, and corporate finance. He has presented his research papers at international conferences in Thailand, USA, UK, France, Spain, Norway, Iran, Morocco, the Netherlands, and India. He has to his credit a number of papers published in international journals of repute. He is actively involved in consulting and training projects across various domains like banking and insurance, stock exchanges, and various governmental agencies, as well as other corporate entities. Professor Dr. Basu also serves on the board of several companies. May I request Dr. Khan to welcome him on behalf of NL Dalmia Institute of Management Studies and Research.
In the past, he has served as an independent board member of IRDA, Insurance Regulatory and Development Authority. In addition, he is a public interest director of Multi-Commodity Exchange Clearing Corporation Limited. Mr. Chajed has been active with the Maharashtra Chamber of Commerce, Industry and Agriculture, and is the chairman of its Finance, Banking and IT Committee. He has contributed a weekly column in Matta, that's Maharashtra Times, on issues relating to taxation and investments, of which more than 600 articles were published. He has appeared as a guest speaker on various television channels. He is a member of the Board of Management of Mumbai School of Economics and Public Policy, Chair Executive Committee, World Congress of Accountants 2022, as well as International Federation of Accountants, IFAC. We welcome you, sir. I now request Mr. Shailesh Dalmia to welcome him on behalf of NL Dalmia Institute of Management Studies and Research.
I now take the privilege to introduce to you the guest of honor of today's function, Dr. Arun Verma from Bloomberg LP. Dr. Verma heads the Bloomberg Quantitative Research Solution teams in the CTO office, USA. His work initially focused on stochastic volatility models for derivatives and exotics pricing, and more generally around asset pricing using traditional quantitative finance methods. More recently, he has enjoyed working at the intersection of diverse areas such as data science, innovative finance, quantitative finance methodology, and using AI machine learning methods to help reveal embedded signals in traditional and alternative data such as company financials, ESG, news, supply chain, geolocation, and extreme weather to study their potential impact on financial markets. Most recently, in an attempt to complete a full cycle, he has been exploring use of ML methods in traditional quant space, example derivative pricing, illiquid instrument pricing, economic indicators, and high-dimensional data imputation. Prior to joining Bloomberg, he earned his PhD from Cornell University in the areas of computer science and applied mathematics and a BTech in computer science from IIT Delhi. Mr. Verma is also on the editorial board of the Journal of Financial Data Science. I now request Mr. Mudit Dalmia to welcome him on behalf of NL Dalmia Institute of Management Studies and Research. Thank you, sir.
May I now call upon Mr. Shailesh Dalmia to address this august gathering.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, members of the dais. I'm delighted to welcome you all to the India Finance Conference 2023. As an institutional partner, we are proud to host the prestigious annual conference of India Finance Association in our campus this year. NL Dalmia Institute of Management Studies and Research under the aegis of the NL Dalmia Educational Society are amongst the top institutes in Mumbai. With a mission to provide quality management education with a social conscience, all efforts are made to ensure that the best of resources are available to foster an enabling learning environment to our students. What makes an institute great are core elements of teaching and learning, research and discovery, creativity and innovation, and engagement and societal outreach. It has been our continuous endeavor to work on these core elements to attain our vision to be a world-class management institute. We realize the impact of research, especially research by faculty, and its role in enhancing the quality of teaching as well as industry-academia connect. It only seemed apt to associate with the esteemed India Finance Association, set up with an aim to provide a platform for research and development and discussion in the area of finance and accounting, and founded by the three renowned, prestigious institutes of management education. I am Ahmedabad, I am Bangalore, and I am Calcutta. It's an honor and a prestige to be a part of the IFA. India Finance Conference is a much-awaited research conference for academicians and industry experts working in the field of finance and accounting. I'm as eager as you to hear the discussions and presentations on latest developments and emerging issues in the area of accounting, asset pricing, investment, corporate governance, ESG, financial markets, and institutions. I wish all the participants a great day of 3 days of learning. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for addressing the audience regarding the association of IFA with NL DIM, sir, for the Indian Finance Conference.
I now request Professor Dr. Seema Saini to address the audience.
Thank you, Dr. Peshwani. A very warm welcome and good morning, all the distinguished guests, our faculty members, and dear students here in the auditorium. On behalf of NL Dalmia Educational Society and on my own behalf, I take pleasure in welcoming all our distinguished and eminent guests from the academia as well as the corporate for this Indian Finance Conference in 2023. We're indeed honored and privileged to host this prestigious conference this year. I take the opportunity to briefly introduce NL Dalmia Educational Society to our eminent guests. The NL Dalmia Educational Society was founded by founder chairman late Shri Niranjan Lalji Dalmia in 1982. A philanthropist to the core, he felt that education is one of the most important assets in developing individuals who will be competent to change their environment. Under the aegis of the society, which was established in 1982, over the years we've been running 6 schools of excellence, which you just heard from Dr. Mangesh Kasbekar. NL Dalmia Institute of Management Studies and Research commenced in the year 1995 with only 60 students and now has approximately 1,000 students and about 8,199 alumni, many of whom hold senior positions in the corporates. With an aim to make our institute world-class, we've provided the necessary tools and equipments over a period of time. Where we are today is simply because we have one single objective in mind, and that is to establish NL Dalmia Institute of Management Studies and Research amongst the finest in the country. We've come quite far, from being ranked around 700 amongst 1,000 students all over India to amongst the top 25 amongst more than 7,400 institutes in a short span of time. This indeed is commendable, looking at the team spirit of the people coming together to put in their best. What makes us unique from other schools in this country is the fact that the institution is not run on a business model, but as an educational model. It was for this reason that our chairman, Shri Shiv Kumarji Dalmia, decided to do away with the management quota, and in furtherance to the founder chairman's vision to reach out and admit students purely on merit. We are proud to say that we are the first B school in Mumbai and in Maharashtra to have voluntarily relinquished the management quota as a pure service to society. You will be proud to know that the acceptance rate at our institute is less than 10%, which indicates the quality of meritorious students. Awards and acknowledgement is a fine way to recognize all the efforts of all the stakeholders. Being the recipient of Pride of Maharashtra Award by the Maharashtra Industrial and Economic Development Association, Excellence in B School Award by Times of India, Education World, Business Standard, IMCR, Praxis, India Today, in the recent past, many such honors have come our way. We familiarized ourselves with the accreditations that the institute has received, NAC, NBA, SAQS, that was the latest. Other than that, the institute was also rated A triple star by CRISIL at the state level and A double star at the national level. Accreditation Service for International Schools, Colleges and Universities UK has also accredited us as a premier college, and we've been awarded high ratings for all operations from teaching, learning to infrastructure. The institute offers courses in PGDM Finance, Marketing, HR, and Business Analytics. It is affiliated to the University of Mumbai for its PhD program. Moreover, the institute has received AICTE approval for open distance learning program and online programs. In furtherance to the vision of providing value-based quality management education, NL DIMSR develops leaders with global outlook and social conscience. This has been taken forward by initiating a global MBA program with an international MOU signed with University of Wisconsin, USA, with Winnipeg University, Canada, and also University of Westminster, UK. New initiatives have been taken by introducing value-added courses and certification programs. Techno-managerial courses are initiatives of the dynamic scenario of today's times, and we have also collaborated with Harvard Business School online and Coursera program for students, faculty, and staff. We have engaged with several other international universities in the past. Collaborative projects-based student exchange programs with Xavier University, USA, and University of Wisconsin, Parkside was very, very encouraging. At the national level, the institute has collaborated with prestigious bodies like Multi-Commodity Exchange of India, NISM, NIPM, Emarticus, and various others. NL Dalmia Institute of Management Studies and Research is the first in Mumbai and South Asia's largest, has the first Mumbai's as well as South Asia's largest standalone Bloomberg Finance Lab. It has 24 terminals and is the biggest Bloomberg experiential learning partner in South Asia. The Bloomberg Professional Service at the campus helps the institute strategically prepare its students for top-end careers in banking, investment management, institutional broking, investment banking, and corporate treasury management. The institute provides extremely focused and high-end programs like Bloomberg Market Concepts and Bloomberg Analyst Certification, environmental, social governance as well. And we are honored to have our Bloomberg head this morning in the campus. Strides have been made in the field of research and community. We are proud of the initiatives taken in the field of civic engagement. To be in the forefront of development, we have allocated 25 million rupees for research and development to encourage the research activities. We have also had the privilege to have successfully completed 5 research projects for Maharashtra Police, which are now circulated amongst the various commissionerates of the country. As a part of nation-building exercise, we have developed and are executing a customized long logistic management program for INS Hamla since 2005 to 2014 and then from 2017 till date, and have successfully completed multiple batches with certification from NL Dalmia. To develop a sense of social responsibility in the students, NL Dalmia Institute has introduced My Social Responsibility by adopting Kongaon village of Palghar district, wherein huge strides have been made in all 4 verticals: education, skill development, health and hygiene, environment. As an outcome of our initiative, Kongaon has been awarded rupees 10 lakhs and a certificate of Taluka Sundar Gaon 21-22 by Zilla Parishad. The vision and ethos laid by the founder chairman has been ably carried forward. We are proud that the 3rd generation, Mr. Sailesh Dalmia, Honorary Secretary of NL Dalmia Educational Society, and now the 4th generation, Mr. Mudit Dalmia, the Vice President of NL Dalmia Society, is also living up to his grandfather's and great-grandfather's ideals in imparting education that promotes integrity, ethics, and value system, forming the foundation of the life of the students of these institutions. All of these activities propel NL Dalmia Institute to be a quality institute where academic rigor and robust practical knowledge and experiences are emphasized, thus offering professionals of superior quality to contribute effectively to the economy. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am, for introducing to the audience NL Dalmia Educational Society and the Institute of Management.
May I now call upon Professor Dr. M.A. Khan to share a few words with the August gathering.
Dignitaries on the dais, authorities from the IFA, chief guest, guest of the honor, resource persons, session chair, faculty members, invitees, and dear participants. I welcome you all on the behalf of the institution, on the behalf of the IFA. We have taken almost all care to see that you are at comfort, your stay, food, and travel. If anything, any lapses is there, my apologies. But if you have any inconvenience during your conference, please let us know at the help desk or the volunteer you are nearby to take out your slight pain so that your stay of 4 days will be very comfortable, enjoyable, and joyful. All the best to all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for sharing your kind words, coming straight from your bottom of left ventricle.
We now request Professor Dr. Ajay Pandey to address the August gathering.
Well, good morning, Chief Guest, Guest of Honor, the NL Dalmia team, which is helping us in managing this conference, participants in the conference, the students, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of IFA, I would like to welcome all of you for this conference, and hopefully that the sessions will be useful for those who are presenting the papers and also for those who are going to be listening to the papers. I think the only thing which I would like to say is on behalf of the IFA, I think it was some of us who started it out. It was our vision to take it to broad base the research environment within the country, and it is good to see that finally We are hosting this in a place other than Ahmedabad, Bangalore, and Calcutta, and hope that this will be the beginning of maybe even a bigger network which we hope to create as we go forward. Thank you. All the best for the conference.
Thank you, sir, for sharing your thoughts.
We now request Professor Dr. Sankarshan Basu to address the audience.
Good morning to all, and welcome to the 12th IFC. It's been a long journey. I think, as Ajay just said, we started off 12 years back with an idea that we will kind of create a platform which would become the flagship finance academic event in this country. I think we've come a long way. It was also a part of the original idea that at some point it has to go outside just the IIM circuit, and definitely outside IIMs, Ahmedabad, Bangalore, and Calcutta. The original idea was to have done it a couple of years back, but unfortunately due to COVID and all, we got delayed by a little bit. But we are very happy and thankful that we've been able to achieve it this year. And I think on behalf of IFA, I need to thank the N.L. Dalmia Institute of Management Research for coming, for agreeing to be the host this year, and so putting together what looks like being another fantastic conference in this whole series. Just to very quickly give you an idea that the idea of creating IFC and subsequently IFA was to bring together academics, not just Indian academics, but academics working in the discipline of finance and practitioners on a platform, on a common platform here, so that, as has been highlighted earlier, not just academic presentations, but kind of networking and building of relationships, which is very important in an academic community, and in growth of academics is kind of nurtured and taken forward. And I am actually very happy to say and see a lot of faces around the room who've been regular participants and have been big supporters of the conference and of this whole idea that we started off with 13 years back to that. And I also take this opportunity to also welcome all of you who probably are here for the first or the second time to kind of continue in this association, and I'm sure there will be huge benefits and learnings for both of us as we go forward. I don't want to stand between you and the chief guest and the guest of honor to speak. I'll be around. We'll all be around, and we'll catch up over informally. But I take this opportunity to wish the conference all the best, and let's enjoy the next 2.5 days of the conference. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for addressing the audience.
Now it's time to invite the chief guest of today's function, CA Prafulla Chajed, to deliver the keynote address.
Very good morning, respected members on the dais, distinguished guests from the esteemed field of finance, scholars, academicians. It is both honor and privilege to stand before you at one of the most prestigious finance event, that is India Finance Corporation, a conference. Ladies and gentlemen, this is my first visit to N.L. Dalmia Institute of Management, but being a proud Mumbaikar, I heard a lot about this institution, and as Seema madam was telling and Dalmia sir was telling, it is really a pride that we have such management institution in the city of Mumbai and nearby area. They are doing a lot of things in the field of ESG, transparency, ethics, diversity, inclusiveness. Friends, I was also the president of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, and I visited many academic institutions. But let me tell you, the aura and the vibrations of this institute is amazing, and my compliments to the management for that. I am told this particular conference is being attended by few people from outside India also. Some of you are not from Mumbai. Some could be visiting Mumbai for the first time. But you all are research-oriented people and you track various industries. And in Mumbai, you track one industry, that is Bollywood. So this is the city of Bollywood also. And if I compare Bollywood with, why I'm talking about Bollywood? Because in Bollywood, if you want to have, a blockbuster movie, what is needed? A very committed producer, a dynamic director, the good set of actors, and good audience. And now coming back to NL Dalmia College, we have the commitment, generations of commitment from Dalmia family and their entire team of management as a producer, Mr. Khan, Madam Seema ji as the experienced directors, actors in the kind of faculties who are, and I'm proud many of them are chartered accountants also, and great audience in terms of, the upcoming finance professionals who are trying their best to achieve many things in life. And friends, on the dais there are many people, and of the dais there are many people from IIMs, and was mentioned about IIM A, B, C. And probably when I see the list of IIMs in this background of Dalmia Institute of Management, now we have the IIM Ahmedabad, I think we also have the IIM Amritsar, we have the Bangalore, and now all alphabets government is trying to reach right from Udaipur to Vishakhapatnam, but I did not find any IIMD. And probably it is the Dalmia Institute which is the synonymous with the IIMD. And that is the reason for the first time, even they could have that faith in Dalmia Institute to host this India Finance Conference outside IIMs. And I am, as I said, I am proud Mumbaikar, and I am, being a finance professional, I'm really, really happy of the achievements of the Dalmia Institute of Management in this background. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, world economy is more complex than ever, and there are multiple global challenges such as growing trade and investment interdependence, climate change, pandemics, and now wars. In such complex situation, we need more cooperation and stronger partnerships than ever before if we want world economies to return to a higher inclusive and sustainable growth. I firmly believe that studies backed by strong research can provide some solutions. Our collective goal is to harness the power of research to shape the design and implement better methodologies that help in better economic decisions, with the ultimate aim to improve the financial well-being of the country's organization and its stakeholders. The symposium, with multiple theme research-oriented topics, offer platform for discussion on major contemporary financial, economical, corporate governance issues involving distinguished academicians. I trust these research presentations will offer ideas and solutions that can bridge the gap between the theory and practice to promote better financial decisions. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to share some of my thoughts on the few topics under discussion in this conference. Corporate finance remains at the heart of economic prosperity, driving the wheels of innovation, growth, and sustainability. Dynamic nature of corporate finance, exploring the ever-evolving strategies that companies employ to optimize their capital structure, ensure efficient resource mobilization, and enhance stakeholders' value. Microfinance, a beacon of home for many in emerging economies, had proven its transformative potential in uplifting communities and fostering economic inclusion, impacting poverty alleviations, empowerment of marginalized communities, and the role it plays in building the sustainable economic ecosystem. Asset allocation, a cornerstone of investment strategy, takes center stage exploration of financial markets. In era of uncertainties, our research help in optimal asset allocation that ensures that we sustain in the turbulent times. Being a chartered accountant, I'm really happy that one of the topic is here under discussion is IFRS. The adaptation of International Financial Reporting Standards, that is IFRS, makes a significant paradigm shift in financial reporting practices. Through our research, we navigate the implication of this transition, exploring the challenges and opportunities that is present to corporates, regulators, and various stakeholders. We witness tremendous growth and support in terms of capital and financial support to entities including startups, which are attracting huge global capital. Financial reporting and disclosure have lot of significance. In an era dominated by uncertainty, financial risk analytics and management emerge as the linchpin for organization resilience. Research into evolving landscape of financial risk, examining innovative analytic and management strategies that empower organizations to navigate turbulent waters in precision and confidence. Friends, your research helped many people. I sit on the board of the State Bank of India. Previously, I was also the board member of one of the largest mutual fund. And also, when I was the president of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, we have taken a very big accounting reform in the country, that is the double entry system of railways, Indian railways. And I am really happy that lot of research inputs that are on continuous basis being provided to this particular ecosystem helps us in taking better decisions. As I am mentioning, I sit on the board of the State Bank of India, and you know it is one of the largest bank in India, and our exposure to NBFCs is about close to 3 trillion Indian rupees. And lot of time when I finance these microfinance or NBFCs kind of thing, next day they are our competitors. And therefore when we take the decisions of financing, rate of finance, methodology of financing, all these NBFCs and other things, at the same time there are challenges which are being posed. So now we are living in an era where your own people are your own competitors, but I think research gives that particular support system to take the better informed financial decisions. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the era of innovations and lawbreakers. This is the era of risk and opportunities. This is the era of good money, black money, green money, and also money without money, that is cryptos. I read somewhere that people search for the word Bitcoin 20 times more than they search for wealth, health and wellness. In Brazil, for every 100 reals spent on foreign securities, 25 goes into crypto assets. And therefore, I urge all distinguished people here that research must give us perspective to the present situation and also future needs. I urge all distinguished people to use various technologies that are upcoming, and of course we have the guest of honors who has come all the way from New York to help us, and when they were reading his biodata, he's more into data analytics and kind of thing. I'm quite sure in his address and subsequently even we will catch up him during informal discussions, we will understand the the role of technology that is going to be impacting the various research initiatives. The integration of technology in finance field continues to dominate innovation and efficiency. Machine learning techniques are widely used in asset pricing mechanisms. Lastly, corporate governance, which is an integral component of ethical financial practices. By analyzing the components of good corporate governance in our research, we seek to enhance transparency, accountability, and ethical conduct within financial organizations. Ladies and gentlemen, in this era of disruptions, we expect a lot from research professionals. Friends, you are mover and shakers of the economy. As Mervyn King said, good corporate governance is about intellectual honesty. In the recent history of India's corporate and capital market, one research report, Hindenburg research report, shook billions here and there is therefore a lot of responsibility on each one of you who is into the research field. In conclusion, our research endeavors to contribute to the collective knowledge of finance community, offering insights that can propel our understanding of the financial world forward. I extend my gratitude to all of you for your time, attention, dedication to advancing the frontiers of finance. Let us continue this journey of exploration and discovery, united by our commitment to excellence in the field of finance. I am confident that all your excellent work will inspire many others to contribute high quality research in the field of finance. With the continuous participation and support from the academic institutions like all these IIMs and Dalmia Institute of Management. Thank you very much for inviting me here and giving me this rare opportunity of sitting with the various distinguished people. And let me tell you, even though I am not from research field, why did I accept this invitation to be, chief guest? Because I always wanted to be, because I am a son of a professor, I am a brother of a principal, and therefore it was my, lifetime desire that sometime even I will sit with the academicians. And thank you, Dalmia Institute and my dear friends over here, Dr. Khan and Madam, for inviting me here and giving me this rare privilege and honor. Thank you so much. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, sir, for delivering the keynote address and setting the tone for the conference. I request Mr. Sailesh Dalmia to present a token of appreciation to our chief guest.
May I now invite the guest of honor of today's function, Dr. Arun Verma, to address the audience.
Hi, good morning, everyone. It's a great privilege and honor for me to be here among all the esteemed and distinguished colleagues here. Well, thanks a lot for Mr. Dalmia to invite me here to be the guest of honor. And I know IFA has done a great job. It's their 12th conference, and it's my first one, so I'm really excited to be here. I did prepare a set of slides. I know it will be very hard for audience to follow them, so don't worry about it. It's mostly for myself as talking points, and I can share the slides with you. We don't have to sort of pay attention to the material on the slides so deeply. But before I start with the presentation, let me say a few words. So we did have this great short visit to the Bloomberg lab, and I do want to congratulate the institute here to set up the largest Bloomberg lab in South Asia. And Mr. Prakash showed us the setup. It's really lovely to see the facilities and the education that you give to the students here. And also, I did learn that Dalmia Institute is always among the winning teams in this competition. So Bloomberg hosts what's called the GFC, the Global Finance Competition. I did hear that the top 2 spots both went to Dalmia Institute, and they had more teams in the top 10. So congratulations once again to all of you who have contributed to the success of the institute and the collaboration with Bloomberg. I'm really, really happy and proud to be here for that. So my particular area is quantitative finance. I know in this institute we cover all areas of finance, whether it's corporate finance or investment banking, M&A, lots of other areas, accounting. But I am focused on sort of the quantitative aspects of finance. But the areas of machine learning and AI are impacting every single aspect of finance. So some of what I will share will still ring a bell with you. So I hope you will enjoy that. And finally, my colleague Adesh is also here. So in case you want to chat with the Bloomberg rep, Adesh will stick around for some time, and we can have a conversation if you want to learn more about Bloomberg. He's from the Mumbai office. So myself, I graduated from IIT Delhi in the mid-90s, and I went the academic route. I went for my PhD in the States, but a lot of my batchmates actually went to IIMs and other management institutes, and we all connected a bit later and sort of all found out of I kind of almost was envy of their new lifestyle and their new entrepreneurship that they were able to achieve in a short period of time, and a different arc to their life, which was also amazingly successful. And if I had a second life, I would have gone back, maybe did a management degree as well. But I went for my PhD. I became this nerd, doing numbers all day, but which is also very enjoyable. So I belong to the New York office for Bloomberg, part of the Chief Technology Division, which is the Incubation and Innovation Center, where we sort of look at what to build for Bloomberg as products and services for the next generation, for the next 5 years. So a lot of the ideas are incubated in our labs, and we build proof of concepts which get translated into products. And one of the things I want to highlight for Bloomberg is this a customary Bloomberg slide, if you will, that Bloomberg is probably widely known as a media company, and you guys have probably seen the Bloomberg TV channel and some publications. But in fact, Bloomberg is much more of a technology firm. So we actually have 40% or even 50% of our staff is actually technologists, engineers, and we have about 500 PhD level researchers and scientists staff in Bloomberg. So that really gives a lot of input into all the products we build, whether it's in data science or natural language processing or AI, machine learning, and quant. Those kinds of technologies are influencing variety of different products at Bloomberg, right from pricing to asset allocation to factor models to alternative data to even newer themes like ESG and climate and other themes as well. So there's one message here about Bloomberg that you need to know is kind of like the Google of finance. It's not really a media company, it's more of a technology company. Okay, I'm having trouble. Oh, there we are. Okay, so this picture is kind of just drives home the point that Bloomberg is sort of the central nervous system of the finance world. We take in all kinds of inputs from the financial markets. So from the exchanges or from the the buy side and sell side firms, from analysts, all this data, including news, comes into the Bloomberg ecosystem in a real-time basis and gets processed and built as derived data and derived analysis for our clients to build their insights from. So there's a lot of obviously a lot of analysis that are created directly using some sort of machine readable format. So we process our news, for example, in a real-time setting where we are able to not just sort of identify the people mentioned in the news or the company names, but also do advanced machine learning algorithms to derive sentiment analysis or impute what kind of topics they're talking about, and also link those topics to other kinds of themes that are in the market already, so we can present analysis in a coherent and digestible way for our users. So Bloomberg is like taking, it's really a great place to work at because we have access to all kinds of data. So for me as a quantitative professional and a data scientist, it's really a gold mine that we are sitting on to analyze this wealth of data, and all of it is available to you via Bloomberg Terminal. So one of the first features that we applied machine learning and NLP to is the news data. So about 15 years ago was our first foray into. Sorry about that. Let me go back. I think I went a bit too ahead. Okay. I think there's a delay in the clicking and the display, so I'll be careful. So natural language processing was used at Bloomberg 15 years ago for our news products. So we have, obviously, Bloomberg is a news organization as well. We not only have our own news journalist staff and editors, but we also carry the third-party news from all kinds of news wires, and we want to be able to process them very efficiently to be able to generate insights from it. So within that framework is where our natural language processing initiative started 15 years back, and now we actually touch every single part of NLP. So, going from enrichment, we can extract information extraction from documents, not just news, but also from filings, from the company filings as well as earnings transcripts. We do a lot of entity extraction and enrichment. We also look at data extraction from documents. So we can, if there's a, no worries. If there is tables in the financial documents in PDF files, we can actually extract those tables and get out the numerical values using machine learning algorithms, which is obviously very, very valuable. We also do a lot of generative AI now. This is the sort of the latest development where we are able to do. Thank you so much. We are able to do summarization of news articles. So, given a news article, maybe you don't have time to read the entire article, but you can you can press a button on the Bloomberg and ask it to generate a summary for you, or you can ask it to summarize a bunch of different news articles which are around the same theme into one sort of coherent paragraph or two, which really works well for our users. We also do question answering, obviously, which is more of an enhanced search mechanism, essentially, where you have a corpus of data, news data, that you can ask any questions out of in a pure natural language query format. So you don't need to use a very structured product for it anymore. You can directly use a natural language interface. So there's a lot of that going on at Bloomberg that I'll tell you more about. And now we come to quantitative finance, which is sort of my area. Again, it's a very, very rich domain for Bloomberg, and we have every aspect of quant finance covered, right from asset pricing, which is the most traditional derivatives pricing models. I'm not sure how many of you are interested in that particular area, but it tends to be very mathematically very heavy. So there's a lot of stochastic calculus techniques, as well as numerical methods for pricing, using solutions of PDE, partial differential equations, and Monte Carlo simulations. So it tends to be very computationally expensive, as well as from the resources point of view. You need to have trained staff who can actually do that stuff. So one of the areas we are looking into is actually to use machine learning to replicate the traditional quant pricing models, which will not only bring better speed and better efficiency, but also require less domain expertise from the user themselves, because then they can actually code a quant model without having to know stochastic calculus or advanced math, really. So that's the promise of machine learning, that is much more accessible to more general users. You don't need to have domain expertise, at least not to the degree that the experts used to have. Then there are other areas like factor investing, which is obviously one of the more pillars of empirical finance. Going back to the 60s with the Nobel Prize given to William Sharpe and Paul Samuelson and other folks who started the CAP-M theory, was the first sort of factor investing model, which was a one-factor model just around the market factor. But then later on, Pharma French and other folks started extensions of those models, where they introduced factors like value, growth, or momentum, or quality, and other things, which has become a very, very rich area for research for quantitative finance. How do you discover new factors in the market? Because many of the factors are don't perform consistently over time, and they're not permanent. So there are new factors that come into play for short durations of time, and can you actually build a model that can discover those factors and take advantage of those factors for a trading strategy. And then going forward, Bloomberg also serves as a platform for alternative data. So yeah, this term alternative data is kind of an overloaded or misused term, because alternative data remains alternative only for maybe a year, and then it becomes traditional. So essentially, it's just data. But typically, some of this data has not been used by financial market participants in a very consistent or very deep way. So, for example, data like credit card transaction receipts are really not available as data set to the financial professional, directly. So what you can do is you can try to build insights from data set like that, which has latest credit card transactions, and if you can find any new trends of spending or new sort of patterns in what companies are being favored over others, then you can actually do a better forecasting and potentially a trading strategy that can take advantage of that signal to produce a profitable strategy. Machine learning is also being used for many other tasks. So it's not just for producing the final strategy or pricing, but also for things like data imputation, which is a huge undertaking, because as the data sets get larger and larger and multidimensional, there's many more issues around quality of the data itself, especially in themes like ESG or supply chain, where not every data point is actually released or made available by the companies. And you have to use a statistical or machine learning model to even impute unknown values. So to be able to produce a sort of a robust signal, you first need to figure out where every company's data should be, even if they haven't declared it. And to make a sense of or make a guess or estimate of those data points, you need to really use heavy machinery or machine learning to do not just imputation, but also like cleaning and anomaly detection is another big area. And so all of these areas are using a lot of AI and machine learning in their workflow now. Okay, so now this is maybe a little bit controversial or tongue-in-cheek. I'm calling it the war or marriage of a tale of two disciplines. So I think this is sort of what my journey has been for the last 20 years. On the top we have quant finance, then we have on the bottom AI and machine learning. And are these two disciplines really at war, or are they really trying to sort of complement each other, and there is a potential of a marriage? And I don't want you to sort of pay attention to all the words there, but there's a lot of pros and cons of both these disciplines, and I think there's a real opportunity here for us to bring these two disciplines together in a marriage to make best of both worlds. So typically, the quantitative finance of the traditional ways would be using a lot of statistical methods or econometric methods. We have Professor Basu here; he's an expert in that area, and also what I call like physics-inspired, scientific structured models, which make a lot of assumptions. So they are very assumptions-driven, and in some settings they may not be flexible enough to learn the new market behavior in a nutshell. And also, in addition, you need those heavy education and that training on the mathematical part to be able to do that. On the AI and machine learning front, though, we don't need to use any heavy assumptions or structural models which are inspired from physics or those or scientific disciplines. We can actually we are at the stage in the development of machine learning techniques where you can essentially ask these models to learn the data in a purely data-driven way without having to impose too many constraints or structure on it. So in a sense, you essentially asking the data to tell what the model should be. is kind of a reverse approach. And there's a lot of different tools within that family that we are experimenting with. We are building to actually bring it out as a product. There's a lot of challenges as well. I mean, this is as you all have heard about, the latest developments in large language models and GPT. A lot of it is amazing progress, but it also comes with a lot of challenges. So as long as we are able to handle those challenges very well, I think a marriage is likely. So with that, there's another picture here, which actually a famous statistician, Leo Bremen, presented actually 30 years ago. And it's a funny thing, I brought it up because it's exactly about the same thing that I presented in the last slide. So this is nothing new, actually. There's already a kind of a dichotomy happening in the computer science versus stats or math world, where you are always looking into modeling data in multiple different ways. So whether you use like a data modeling approach, which is impose structure, use distributions which are parametric, and impose kind of assumptions that are very, very strict, versus algorithmic modelers are your computer science and machine learning approach, where you essentially asking the data to tell its own story and its own model to you. Now coming to large language models, recently Bloomberg released, I think it was 6 months ago, the GPT model. Again, it's not for wide consumption yet from Bloomberg. We have a paper which is in public domain. We have a model that is being used internally to solve a lot of use cases, but we're not making that model accessible to general audience via an API or a chat interface, because that speaks to the risky nature of these technologies. So there's still a lot of risks around these technologies. So we need to kind of tame them or cage them in a way that we can make them solve use cases in a narrower way than a more general way. But here is a chart which just shows the progress of large language model kind of concept, going back to the 60s or actually 50s, where the very first effort, I think, in language modeling was by Claude Shannon. If you have heard of the Shannon entropy theory or information theory, that was the very first attempt where he built an entropy model to compress the information available within just the alphabets of English in a smaller set of bits. So that's a compression algorithm. And then going from there, that was the very nascent stage of language modeling, to first speech recognition became very popular. You probably started seeing, maybe not in India, but in the US, I think they had like automated phone services which can recognize your voices and answer your questions back in, I think, starting in the 80s or early 90s. And then finally, we all know what Google did with Google Translate. We can translate from any language to any language, essentially. And that came out 15, 20 years ago via Google. And now you can see this uptick, which is like an exponential growth. And you have to appreciate, on the y-axis, I have what's called the compute power needed, which is already on an exponential scale. It's not a linear scale, it's an exponential scale. And then you further have this upslope. So you see the amount of availability of computational resources has just gone through the roof. And this is exactly what has made it possible. These models, the new models, are very data hungry and they need a lot of compute. So as long as you have a lot of training data, which also became available only recently, so it was kind of the ripe time 5 years ago or so when these things started happening. Both the nature of the data and the magnitude of the data and the compute power happened, reached that sweet point, inflection point, where construction of such models became possible. And now we're at the stage of like almost human level, close to human level understanding of language. That's very exciting. so why are these models popular? What we call large language models. I think they have taken it another step or two beyond the last generation machine learning and AI models, let's say 5 years ago. And the reason for that is that these models are more general. So they are, a single model, like a GPT model, can actually be used to solve many tasks. So whether it's summarization or Q&A or chatting or information extraction, you can do it all from single model. Earlier, what we had was much more of what we call narrow AI, which was not general. So an excellent example of narrow AI was IBM Watson. They came out with the Watson computer or supercomputer, which was able to solve or play chess and actually beat the highest ranking chess champion. And that computer could only do one thing, only play chess and nothing else. So that's the kind of the narrow AI. And now we have come to a stage where we're reaching general human level AI, where a single model can do multiple things. And it's also very broad, which means that the knowledge that is being input into these models is not just about one domain or one particular subdomain. So you can actually feed it the entire Wikipedia, entire encyclopedias about any subjects that you want. In fact, the Bloomberg model obviously favors the financial data more, but it also has the knowledge of essentially the entire Wikipedia. Finally, I think the most important point is the third point, which is accessibility, which is that these models need only humans to interface in a natural language format. So there is no more sort of complex coding required or learning of sort of complex libraries or APIs that you need to do to be able to play with machine learning models. If you look at, for example, deep learning from Google, like TensorFlow or PyTorch, these models have more complex APIs where you will need to have a learning curve about how to use them, learn the technology. But a lot of the large language models, clearly, you can just almost like speak to them and get answers. So these are some of the use cases we have already been building at Bloomberg, where large language models are very effective. I think we don't need to go through everything here, but I want to highlight the last one, which is code generation. So, Bloomberg obviously has a lot of programmers and engineers, and we're writing code every single day. So we are experimenting with building a code generator which can take an idea from a programmer in a more of a natural language format and actually generate a template that can go into their software directly, but with some supervision, obviously, because these generations are not yet at the accuracy that we want them to be. We want full fault tolerance. We can't afford to make mistakes, but we find that if we do it in chunks, in small chunks, like 30 lines of code per task, it's very accurate, and it really enables our programmers to do their work much more efficiently. And this is a particular example of that, actually, within what's called the Bloomberg query language. I'm not sure in the Bloomberg lab here you played with the API. It's called the BQL, where you're able to input a query like you see on the second line here. It's not in the same place here. Okay. Sorry, I think I'm pressing the wrong button here. Yeah. Okay, that's good. So if you see the second line there, you see a little cryptic language, get px last for Apple US equity. And that's a very structured query language. It's similar to SQL that Bloomberg has built for Bloomberg data. But even though it's quite simple, it still has a little bit of a learning curve for our users, where you need to know the syntax, and then you can use it, right? But if you use the language models, you don't even need to know even the simple syntax. You will directly say the input, give me the last price of Apple and its market cap, and it will generate the query for you. So you don't need to learn the language behind the scenes or the API, the data API at all. You can directly ask it the answer that you want to get. And this particular picture shows you the benefits of using a model like this. Because we have a single model that is serving many different use cases. Earlier in a previous generation of machine learning problem solving, there was a task which we call label data generation or training the model, which was very heavy part of the workflow for machine learning, where you will collect what we call ground truth or label data for every problem that you want to solve. And only after you have that input set of golden data, you can ask the machine to learn it. Without data, the machine cannot learn anything, right? So there was a lot of effort required to even start the machine learning process of this data gathering and labeling. But with GPT, because you have a single model that is trained on every domain already, all the data that you've seen, you only need to fine-tune it for your particular task, maybe a little bit. There's a concept called instruction tuning in GPT, where you can take a trained model, a pre-trained model like Bloomberg GPT, and only give it a set of new, concise, fresh instructions to learn a new task. So to learn a new task, it's only a little bit of guidance required. It's like taking a worker off the street, and you know their skills, you can get them to learn any other job that you want them to learn. You don't have to retrain them from scratch. So it's the same concept here. You have a model that works, and you can train it on any other new task. And again, the GPT models can serve all these different applications. So there is no need to build multiple models for each problem. That's the biggest benefit. And finally, you will see, even for the Bloomberg terminal, you will see the same interface making impact, where you can directly almost like speak to the terminal, where you can, instead of going to the graphing function where we show the charts, you will directly go to the Bloomberg main interface and say, give me the chart for IBM, and it will give you a chart. And then you can say start from a particular year as a second following command, and it will expand the chart or accordingly to make it start from a particular year or end at a particular year. And finally, you can also add to the same chart other data points, like add the number of employees here. So you can keep on working on an incremental workflow, all in natural language, without having to, guide or know the terminal functions from scratch. So finally, generative models are not simply only for the language part. I know that's what I talked about mostly, but the generative AI is also being used for financial time series types of models. Well, one of the examples is imputation, where we have a lot of missing data or non-disclosed data, as we see it in our ESG in particular, where companies are failing to report on certain metrics, and we want to still impute it. Again, generative AI can be very useful for those kinds of problems, where we can build a model which learns a distribution of those data points using generative models, and given the distribution of those data points, we can learn what the imputation or what the estimate should be. And we are applying this technology on learning of volatility surfaces, where we have built a model to learn the distribution of all surfaces given historical data. Similarly, for learning prices of instruments, especially illiquid ones, illiquid instruments that don't typically get traded in the market will see very little price discovery for you to build a better price. For that, we have to go outside of the target instrument to learn this price. So it's sort of like finding the price of a property in Mumbai, right? Where, let's say, you want to find what the price of a flat in Andheri should be, and there's no sale in Andheri for the last 3 months, so you don't know where the price should be. So what automatically you will sort of expand your horizon and you'll go to maybe Santa Cruz or Juhu or Lokhandwala, wherever. I'm not from Mumbai, so but you will try to find similar properties that are of the target property that have sold in the past and use that to learn the price of the target property. And then you will look at other characteristics like number of rooms, obviously, all the other parameters that are by no means is simple. It's a very complex problem, but the same thing can be applied to bonds, where if you don't have prices of a particular bond issue, you will expand your net to go to the issuer level where you see other bonds from the same issuer. And if that doesn't work still, then you will go to the bonds in the same sector or the bonds with the same coupon or maturity or rating. And similarly, you will build a very complex machine learning model to learn prices. I know when I was looking at the program for this conference, I saw there was a lot of interest in ESG. There's a lot of talks, so I thought maybe I'll introduce some of that. I don't want to take too much time. Do you know how much time I have? Or 11:30? Yeah, so about 10 minutes. Okay. So I know in India, Bloomberg still doesn't have the kind of the regulatory power to do ESG guidance, but of course we have a huge product in place for sustainable finance at Bloomberg, serving various different sectors of this market. And I know many of you folks here are probably looking at this area very deeply. It's obviously a very up and coming area with buzz and of critical importance for future investing. So from that regard, Bloomberg as a financial services player is definitely committed to capture all the data and the news that is being shared in this domain. And then from that data, we are using methodologies to create the scores at the company level. We are creating ESG scores that can be used to drive your investment strategies or asset allocation strategies. And there are many other aspects to sustainable finance beyond ESG. There's climate data. You're looking at scenarios going ahead 30 years, 50 years, and there's a lot of research out there which shows different temperature scenarios of the world, and there's a certain certain trajectory that you can take to maintain carbon neutrality. And if companies have to kind of pledge to emit less greenhouse gases to be able to stay on that trajectory. So there is a lot of targets that our companies are being held accountable for, and all of that data is being provided and comes back to Bloomberg, and we actually do a relative scoring of these companies on these different dimensions. I've been asked to wrap up soon, so let me just quickly go over some of these pillars. ESG itself is one of the biggest pillars. I think this is where we have a lot of data. We carry for every single company, including some private companies, data along these dimensions. And I can also share that this also is a great area for application of AI and machine learning, because the data again is not very dense. There's a lot of sparsity and a lot of imputations that's needed. So in order to optimize your investment goal, you have to work with sparse data, and which is very heavily multidimensional to inform your strategy. And for that, you can use optimization techniques and machine learning techniques to find the right mix to leverage these data sets. We also have work on what we call climate risk, looking at emissions of greenhouse gases and also use of water by different companies. Water is becoming a very scarce commodity, and there's a lot of talk about having penalties for companies that use too much water. So we are trying to bring that back into the ecosystem where we can score companies based on their water usage and kind of like promote them indirectly to use less water or maybe do some other work which offsets that by buying credits and things like that. So I'll just sort of end here. I mean, there's one particular area which I'm very fond of, which is factor investing, and I think this particular, this is a kind of the cornerstone of empirical finance. I think we mentioned earlier the CAPM model and then the extensions into arbitrage pricing theory by Steve Ross and Pharma French. So when you look at factors and investing, you can broadly classify them into these 4 quadrants. I know you can't see all of that, but basically you have to figure out which factors are risky but give you a return. Then those are what we call price factors. Like market is one of the biggest known factor, which is risky but does give you a return. Similarly, some of the factors like momentum or value also have associated risk with them, but they also give you some return to go with that risk. But on the other hand, there can be factors which have return but no risk at all, and these are what we call arbitrage or alpha factors. And there's a different set of technologies needed to discover these factors from the data and take advantage of this short-term arbitrage. And we have found these signals, especially in new sentiment, which don't tend to last for a very long time. Typically, the horizon is about a week, maximum to a month. So you can't have a persistent factor investing strategy, but you have to constantly rotate out of your strategy on a weekly basis, but it's available for you. But we have to be very careful of factors which have no returns and no risk, which is the bottom-most quadrant. You will not see there, but there's a lot of kind of like spurious research in the market where people claim to have factors which have almost no risk, but also give you return. Those essentially are just spurious factors, and there's a concept of factor zoo where you can build any factor you want, but you have to use a rigorous statistical scientific methods to actually prove those are bona fide and they work well out of sample and they carry their value premium, not just for a period but over multiple quarters, multiple years. All right, I think with that I will just sort of end my talk. Let me just show you one example of work we did on. Let me just show you here. On estimation of risk from snowfall. I know it's not very relevant for India, but we can look at weather forecasts of extreme snowfall, and we can see where the snow is hitting different stores or factories, and from that we can learn what companies are getting impacted. We did the same for cyclones, where we looked at cyclones impact in the Gulf and in Japan, and based on the supply chain and the store locations, we can find out what companies are getting impacted, and we can get an advanced signal to trade in those companies, and turn into a profitable trading strategy. So that's some of the work in alternative data that we have done. And I guess with that, I'll just end here. I know we don't have too much time, but I'm happy to share these slides if you want to see more of this work. And I really want to thank you for your attention and time here. And again, my pleasure to be here. Thank you very much.
Well, what an insightful session it was. We wish we had more time wherein you could cover all the slides there. Thank you, sir, for enlightening the audience on the technology such as machine learning and Gen AI and its significance in the domain of quantitative finance. May I request Mr. Mudit Dalmia to present a token of appreciation to Dr. Arun Verma.
Thank you, sir. I request Professor Dr. Seema Saini to present a token of appreciation to Professor Dr. Ajay Pandey. Thank you, ma'am.
I request Professor Dr. M.A. Khan to present a token of appreciation to Professor Dr. Sankarshan Basu. NLDIMSA is always committed for the holistic development of stakeholders. As mentioned by Dr. Seema Saini a while ago, in the year 2017, NLDIMSA adopted Kongao, a tribal village situated in Palghar district, to help the villagers as a part of my social responsibility. MSR committee works and conducts activities under 4 verticals, which are education, hygiene, healthcare, skill development, and environment. We request the dignitaries and all the participants for the event to visit the stall of art and craft located at the ground floor of this institute, where the ladies of Kongao have displayed bamboo products and share with them glimpses of rural India.
We profoundly thank our sponsors for the event: Diamond sponsor ICICI Securities Limited, Gold sponsor Gallagher, our banking partner Axis Bank, Knowledge partner Oxford University Press, Sage Publication, Pearson Education, Capitaline Database, Process, Taxman Publication, and Vakratunda Book House. Now, allow me to brief all the participants of the conference about the 3-day schedule of IFC 2023. For all the 3 days, research paper presentations will be held in various classrooms presided by the session chairs. The plenary sessions will be held in the auditorium. After every plenary session, a feedback form will be sent to your registered mobile number as a WhatsApp message. For the plenary sessions, we have invited academicians of international repute to share their research journey and update you on the latest research in finance and accounting. The award ceremony and the valedictory function will be held in this auditorium itself. The short tea breaks and high tea will be served in the seminar hall on the 5th floor, while the lunch is arranged at the banquet hall at Kalpatru. As the venue is for lunch is 5 minutes walking distance from the institute, we have arranged a bus service for pickup and drop. I am delighted to announce that, or inform rather, that our Honorary Secretary, Mr. Sailesh Dalmia, is hosting a conference dinner tonight from 7 p.m. onwards at Sterling Banquet, Delta Gardens, Mira Road. He has invited all the participants and the dignitaries of the conference for the dinner. The same bus service will be available for commuting to the venue. Please stick to the timelines for the smooth functioning of the conference. The detailed conference schedule is given in your conference kit. Nevertheless, our student coordinators are in touch with you on phone or a WhatsApp message. We hope you have a wonderful experience at NL Dalmia Institute of Management Studies and Research.
Since we have come to the fag end of the inauguration event, may I now request all of you to please rise for the national anthem.
पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तब जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे.
We will now break for tea for quick 15 minutes, followed by paper presentation in the assigned classrooms. This is Dr. Mangesh Kasbekar and Dr. Shilpa Peswani signing off. Thank you and hope you have a wonderful experience at NL Dalmia Institute of Management Studies and Research. Thank you so much.
Thank you.